come from a low-income family, and so we usually had small one-bedroom apartments. We sometimes stayed in studio apartments. I only remember living in one row house, and that was off of when I was living on 4th Magnolia. And so, for a lot of the times, we moved around a lot. My full name is Leonard Vincent Christopher Salcido, but I go by Leo. I am the Senior Art Director for Change Agent Productions, which is a nonprofit social enterprise that works with digital media artists alongside urban high school youth to carry out video production. I grew up mostly in Long Beach, in downtown Long Beach. I used to live off of 4th Magnolia. So yeah, mostly in Long Beach since I was in 5th grade. But before that, I moved around a lot with my mom. Lived in Arizona, a little bit around Southern California, but most of my younger years were spent in Long Beach. A typical day for me in my childhood would be mostly waking up in the morning, going to school. I mean, school for me was kind of like my escape to get away from my sisters, my mom, my dad at the time. I spent a lot of time in school and in an after school program. Aside from that, I would either be at home doing homework. And for the weekends, I would usually be out skating with my friends. Anything that kind of got me out of the house and I could kind of go do my own thing is what I did a lot of the time since I was younger. As a child, my dream job was, I originally wanted to be an animator. Like I wanted to make cartoons. I love drawing. But then I found out like the amount of work that goes into doing animation, and I was like, that's a ton of work. It becomes real meticulous and draining. And so from there it evolved to I wanted to be a comic book artist, but I always knew I wanted to do work in the artistic creative field. That's one thing I always knew I wanted to do. The first job I had outside of the Y, I was working for a computer retail store, and it was a fun experience. It really got me away from the people I already knew through the Y, growing up through the Y. So I was in retail. I got to learn about customer service, just how the general public works. I had a lot of fun times working there. I got to learn a lot, and it really helped me develop the interpersonal skills of working people in the employment field, as opposed to working at the Y. I grew up with these people, so we have a close, tight-knit family atmosphere. But when you work with people in the career field, you don't know these people, you didn't grow up with them, so you have to really kind of get to know them. An event that made me feel like I grew up as a child, that would be when I started my first day of high school. This was in 2000, and it was September 5th, and what had happened is my baby brother, who was 10 years old, passed away. And it was really hard on my family, and I had to be really strong to support my sisters and my mom that were going through this really, tragic time in their life. And it kind of made me really think, what do I want from life? And I started taking things a lot more seriously ever since that event happened.
Someone that has inspired me and had the biggest impact on my life will definitely have to be my mom. She's always been that supporting factor, no matter what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to do art or be a comic book artist or go into animation. She was always like supporting me in any kind of career paths that I chose or things that I wanted to do professionally. And till this day, she still supports me in anything I choose.
I never imagined I'd be doing a lot more digital work based on computers. I never thought I was really going to have the opportunity to learn how to make films, how to do animation through the computer. This job didn't exist when I was in high school, so I kind of got to create my own job. Change Agent Productions is a nonprofit social enterprise that carries out corporate-grade work for various agencies like community-based organizations, nonprofits, after-school programs. We provide digital media services, everything like filmmaking, graphic design, animation, photography, music making. We do a lot of technology solutions consulting where we build labs and we actually go out to various agencies and train people on how to maximize the technology, whether it's from music making, filmmaking, to graphic design. And on our social impact aspect is that we work with high school youth to carry out these projects. So we really give low-income urban high school youth the opportunity to work on professional grade projects. They're the ones assisting myself and our other digital media artists to set up cameras, to set up lighting, to do the filming, to do editing. I have a group of youth that go out with me and train other youth and other high school kids and other staff and adults on really the technology and just kind of giving their perspective of how Change Agents is giving them the opportunity to travel all over the world. We are able to pay the youth an academic stipend, so whenever they work on a project, they get the ability to earn money, just like as a freelancer does. So that's how we work with the high school kids. And so, some of these kids that we work with, they come from low-income families, to where the money that they're making in the studio, they're able to help out their family pay rent. They're able to, buy their own new school clothes. They're able to, buy school supplies, whatever they need. I am aware that what I do does affect youth, and I know that on a day in and day out basis because my office is always packed with high school kids in the afternoon. I'm able to go out and train other frontline staff to work with youth, and so whether I'm training a group of teachers to teach kids or whether or not I'm working with my own kids here in the office, I know that every day, no matter what I do, it's always impacting the youth and really advocating for them.
As cheesy as it may sound, as long as you stick to your gun and you just work hard at something, you will become successful. The way I know that because, there's been times where I worked an immense amount of hours and days, and if it wasn't for that much dedication that I had when I was growing up, I could have easily become, a ghetto kid, falling into gangs and drugs and all that stuff, and really into a bad crowd. But since I was focused and I just stayed working on what I really truly wanted to be, to do in the career field, I was able to create the position that I'm in now.
From age 1 to 5, he lived mostly in Artesia, California. But when he was 6 years old, his brain began to fight a lot. At the time, his brother suffered a lot from medical issues that caused a rift between his parents. At age 7, his mother moved him and his 2 sisters to Phoenix, Arizona. When he was 10, his mother and father got back together and they moved back to Long Beach. There he attended International Middle School. When he graduated 8th grade and was going to 9th grade in the year 2000, he began to attend Poly. That fall on September 3rd, his grandfather on his mother's side passed away. 2 days later, on September 5th, his brother Mitchell passed away. In shock, he still wouldn't sleep. His brother was 10 years old at the time. It was hard on his family, and since then he has devoted his life to be successful in any way he can. Well, his mom always helped him and the local kids, and so did his sister. So he feels as if he had the chance to help kids. It's kind of what he was raised to do. It was to help those who don't have positive role models. In 2004, he graduated Poly High School and got accepted to San Francisco State University. He stayed in that school for roughly 2 years and ended up coming back to Southern California to help out. In 2006, by a long-time mentor named Bob Cabeza, he was offered the opportunity to start a digital media company where he would work with youth, teaching them filmmaking and graphic.
Possibilities out there are endless for anyone, no matter where you grow up at, no matter what kind of family backgrounds you come from, no matter your social economic status. Digital media arts and technology is a great equalizer. And, if you can become really good at something, I guarantee you'll never work a day in your life.